Hi guys, I'm Phil Town from Rule 1 Investing. Today I want to talk to you about the difference between payback time and dollar cost averaging. So dollar cost averaging, or DCA, this is the practice of spending a certain amount of investment dollars in a given stock periodically. So what you end up doing is you're buying a certain dollar amount of shares regardless of the price per share. So like, for example, every month you would just put in a certain amount of money out of your paycheck and buy the stock at whatever price it's at. Now this investing technique supposedly reduces your risk of investing a large amount in a single stock at the wrong time, right? By buying it right when it's really high. So what you do is you end up buying fewer shares when it's really high, and you buy more shares when the price is really low. And that ends up averaging out pretty good over time. Dollar cost averaging theoretically helps you keep your money into the stock, but doesn't necessarily guarantee you a profit, right? Much less a nice retirement. If the market goes sideways for 20 years, what's going to happen to this stock? Nothing. All right. So dollar cost averaging is an interesting kind of thing. We've done a little work on it, and basically it turns out that you end up paying just a little bit more than the company is worth most of the time. And the problem with it, of course, is the only way to make it work well is you have to be buying the stock when the price is really, really low, meaning when everybody is scared to death of buying this stock. And that's hard for you to do. So people who dollar cost averaging often just kind of lean toward buying it when it's all good news and don't buy it at all when it's not. Not the right way to do it. For Rule 1 investing, you already know what price you're willing to pay, right? So dollar cost averaging isn't necessary. We're not looking to figure out how to get money into the stock and not know what it's worth, and which is the whole point of dollar cost averaging. We know what it's worth and what we should pay. And every day, there are wonderful businesses that you can buy on sale every day out there. Now, I might not know which ones they are, you might not know which ones they are, but every day somebody is able to find something that's on sale. Now, you may not be able to buy the whole thing, but you can certainly buy a piece of it. And a small piece of the right business at ever better prices is going to make you rich over time. So let's think about this. Even after you buy into a business, you want the part that you don't own, the part you haven't bought yet, you want it to go down. Now think about this for a second. We just bought into a business, and now I'm telling you that the piece that you don't own, that part, you want that price to go down. Now what that means in the real world is that the stock price is going down, taking your stock price with it. So you're not hearing me wrong. We want it to go down, not up. See, if it goes up, we do okay, right? If it goes down, we get rich. And this is hard for most people to grasp. I know it sounds completely nuts, but remember, our net worth is not about prices, at least not in the short term, right? It's about value. If prices go down, but we know what we're doing, our net worth is going to go up big time. We're not expecting to cash out today or tomorrow. We are consumers of stocks for many years into the future as investors. Therefore, we want the price of the thing that we're consuming, any business or stock that we want to stockpile, we want that to stay low so we can buy more of that great company at ever better prices over and over and over again. Now, I want you to assume that you find a business you really understand. It's got a great moat. It's got great management. You can really get behind the values of this business. Now, assume it has a conservative value for you of $20 a share. It's selling at a fabulous margin of safety price of $10 a share. It also has a payback time of 8 years, which means if you just take the free cash of the company, you get your money back in 8 years if you own the whole thing, which is fantastic. That's the price of a private business. Now you have $10,000 to invest, you buy 1,000 shares. 6 months later, you've managed to save another 10,000 bucks, and you're looking for something to invest in. What am I going to put my money in? I've got $10,000. I want a wonderful business at an attractive price. So you take a look at this business that you love, that you already have 1,000 shares of. This is great. But now this thing is priced at 20 with a payback time of 13 years. Nothing's changed fundamentally in the company. It's still got its great long-term value of $20, but it no longer has a margin of safety price and the payback time is too long. And that means we can't buy any more of it with our $10,000. We're priced out of the stock. So son of a gun, at the end of 5 years, the stock price is still at $20. And if you decide you're going to sell this, maybe it's changed its story or whatever, you've still doubled your money. You've made 15% a year on your annual return on your 1,000 shares. Fantastic return. Good job. Now let's compare the result with another scenario. Same stock, okay? You own 1,000 shares at $10 a share, 10,000 bucks. But now it's 6 months later, you've saved another 10,000, but this time the price of the business is gone down. It's no longer at $10. It's fallen to $5 a share, but no change in the story, right? No change in the long-term value. It's still 20 bucks. Now, it has a payback time because it's at $5 a share. If you buy it at that price, you got a payback time of 5 years. You have all your money back. This is great. And guess what? Because it's at $5 a share, you've got $10,000. You can buy 2,000 more shares, you guys. So when I say that there is no change in the long-term value, be sure you know what I mean. I mean that you've double-checked your 4M analysis to ensure that the value of the company still stands, right? You right there where you first calculated it at 20 bucks a share for your first buy-in. The only difference here is a better margin of safety. In other words, remember, price is not value. The value is still 20, but the price for whatever, it's raining gold out there in a big economic storm, fine, now the price is $5. In 6 months, you've saved that $10,000 to invest, so you look around, you discover the price of your favorite business has continued to fall to $1 now, with a payback time of 2 years. Again, we're assuming the business hasn't changed at all. You know it hasn't because you've been going through the 4Ms, you're looking at all the annual reports, the quarterly reports. Now you think, oh my gosh, what's going on here? I paid $10, then I paid $5. Why is the price so low? Well, let's just say the whole stock market has fallen off the table. The Dow is down 85%. No one wants to own stocks. The baby boomers are all out of the market. They pulled all their money out because they're scared to death. Your company is still worth $20 a share long term. Long term, its price is not its value. And it's that value because of its potential for future cash flow, and that's what it's worth. So you buy 10,000 more shares. You now own 13,000 shares of the company. You've invested $30,000. The average price you paid per share is $2.30. Now, 5 years later, sure enough, selling for $20 a share. The story starts to change, so you're ready to exit. But you look at the difference, will you, between the two things. In the first example, you doubled your money from 10 to 20, you made 15% compounded return. Great job. In the second business, you stockpiled the stock as it went down, you have $30,000 invested, which you've turned into $260,000, a return of compounded annual return of 54% a year. Holy Christmas. Instead of making $20,000, you've made $260,000 because you have trained yourself to understand your business and stockpile it when there's an economic storm that doesn't affect the value of this business. Now that's pretty sexy right there, I think. Now let's talk about why this process of buying more shares as the stock goes down is not the same as dollar cost averaging, right? It looks like you're kind of dollar cost averaging, but it's not the same. DCA means you're investing a fixed amount at fixed intervals no matter what the price of the given stock might be. Dollar cost averaging has been really widely criticized by all kinds of economists, academic finance researchers. It's more of a marketing gimmick than any kind of a sound strategy. And numerous studies have shown that in addition to lowering your overall return, DCA does not even meaningfully reduce your risk when it's compared with other strategies, such as just throwing a dart at the wall. So in a sense, dollar cost averaging is kind of a refuge for scoundrels, if you want to think about it that way. But they've sold it to you. So you bought a stock at 20 bucks, now it's at $10. So you follow the scoundrel's advice, you buy more. It goes to 5. Your advisor has no idea what this thing is worth. Most financial advisors have no training in valuing a company. They can't tell you what the problem is. They don't know if the investment's coming back because he doesn't know the value in the first place. It might be worth $1 for all he knows. And 95% of the people who are advising people on stock investing believe in efficient market theory, which means that if it's at 20, it's worth 20. If it's at 10, it's worth 10. If it's at 5, it's worth 5. It might be worth 1 when it gets to 1. They don't have a clue. So the biggest problem with dollar cost averaging is whether an investor is willing or able to put in more money at exactly the time they most need to at the market bottom. That's so hard to do. In 1930, a $500,000 portfolio went to $75,000 in 1 year. But how many people have their emotions under control enough to buy in after that? The market's collapsed and now you're going to put in? So where are some of them going to get even $10,000 to shove in there if they don't even have a job? So think about the price of ignorance, the non-involvement in number terms, at least for the foreseeable future. It could be the difference between a 2% return and 20% per year, not to mention 50% per year. So think about this. A 50-year-old with $50,000, which is the average for about 75 million baby boomers, at 2%, putting in $10,000 a year for the next 20 years, that person is going to retire with $223,000 in today's dollars. Yep, less than the dollars they put in. At 20%, they retire with $2.5 million in today's dollars. Now that's a freaking gigantic difference in the way people are going to live in retirement if they dollar cost average in a flat market versus learning how to buy wonderful companies at an attractive price. I'm really concerned for you guys that we're about to enter a very, very bumpy time out there in that stock market. For those of you who are dollar cost averaging, it's going to be really scary. The DCA strategy has the same old mindless assumption that has messed up professional investors for 30 years, that the price is the same as the value. And there's nothing about DCA investing that demands you know that the value of the stock you're buying is a good deal. If you like DCA in the past, you're going to love stockpiling as a Rule 1 investor because I'm telling you, it's like the DCA, but it's got a brain. It requires that you start buying with a big margin of safety, a great payback time, and then you continue buying as long as that margin of safety and payback time hold. If the stock price goes down even more, we get more shares of the same company for the same money. If the price goes above the margin of safety or the payback time gets too long, we're done buying. None of this stuff where we're buying at whatever the price is. That's crazy. Now, I'd love to hear from you guys. Have you tried this kind of stockpiling? Have you tried looking at the payback time price? Leave a comment below with your answer and I'll be sure to follow up with you guys. Thanks for watching. Really enjoyed doing this with you guys. Now go play. See ya. And if you enjoyed this video, you think it was valuable in teaching you more about investing, I'd love to have you subscribe to my channel, share the video with your friends or anybody else that might benefit from it.